rotating their fast bowlers. With this much having playing so much cricket in the last year or so, and also this spell is very important for Ramesh Mendis as well. Bowling in tandem with Usman Chamil. Usman trying to soften things up. Shot, very good shot. Got the field right up there. Maybe Javed Kumar patrolling the boundary at deep squaring. And Ramesh Mendis been bowling well. But the length comparing yesterday and this morning, it just feels a bit flat today. And letting the batsman play in the back foot, which is a cardinal error on a pitch is assisting a lot to a spinner.
We might see Ramesh Mendis toss the ball up a little bit more. Try and hit the foot marks that Dushman has now created for him. He's bowled 4 overs, created a bit of rough for Ramesh Mendis to utilize and exploit. Amir is coming off the wicket now.
A double bluff, Muba. Show the bouncer bowler Yorker.
You called it, Maha. Not quite. Execution was not quite there. Long chase for Angela Matthews. The batsman crossover for an easy 3. The end of the over. It's 72 for 6.
For 6 West Indies, 38 overs, good fight back. More than 45 minutes been played. The day 5, pardon. West Indies needing 273 runs more. Lanka only 4 wickets. Weather God has been kind. Came in time as well.
To Tamira around the wicket, Maha. These are the foot marks. See, just outside that danger area. There's Mendis targeting those areas.
The second step is what Ramesh Mendis must be targeting. Look at the reply again. Just outside where the balls were pitched. That's the area. And it's not that far. If Ramesh Mendis could get 1 or 2 deliveries landing on those marks, pretty sure we could see some explosion out of the pitch. The second step, that's what I'm talking about. Second one, that's Ramesh Mendis territory. Then, few inches left side of it, I think it's spot on.
And the closing fielder is in business. The odd one takes through, doesn't it? That's where he got his wickets yesterday, Ramesh Mendis. Even the batsman, something to think about.
Short this time. That's what I'm talking about, Jehan. Consistency. With the new ball, yes, Ramesh Mendis was pushing it up. Ball was hurrying into the batsman, skidding on. The ball gets softer. That's where it's important to use that guy, use that flight, make the batsman come to the front foot.
Yeah, Chandimal asking him, urging him to slow his speed down. Toss it down. He also feels that Ramesh Mendis is pushing it through too quickly, not giving the ball enough time to grip. That's better. Toss that one up. He shouldn't mind that. He wants the batsman coming down and driving, pushing with hard hands.
I heard Dinesh Chandimal saying, Anna Hari. That's the spot, keep it going. And you see Dimut Karunaratne coming into the short mid-wicket area for a catching position. That's better. Good encouragement around the bat. Just a matter of consistently bowling those good deliveries in those areas.
That's nice. That's outside the off stump. Kumar Bonner not sure Whether to pat that, leave it, play it, that's the tentative push that he's looking for.
Three good deliveries after that first ball shot. And again, easily clipped away for a single down the two square leg. To India, 39. Mission is 77 for 6. It's been swing and pace for Sri Lanka. Quick burst of 4 overs, something things up, came round the wicket, tried everything. Finish with a spinner, will continue from the best box end.
Well, the birds don't seem to be too interested in the cricket. They've got eyes on the bigger fish.
It's a pandemic, Muba. Birds knows about it.
One of them had caught his breakfast. Well, they've had more luck than the Sri Lankans this morning.
Javikrama to the attack from the first box end. Got to bring in those changes. 4 overs of Usman Chamira. Straight away, as expected, Praveen Javikrama into the attack.
Just the 4 overs so far for Praveen Javikrama. Amuldenia and Mendes, 15 overs apiece between them. Did bulk of bowling last evening.
Come on, boy.
These are some of the sites in and around the Gall fort. They've got their fishing rods out there, perhaps.
Good start, very good start. Yes, good start and given us good pictures of people who run the drone for us. Magnificent shots with ball. To all our viewers all around the world. Javikrama, 86 kilometers per hour to start with. Slightly shorter. Minding our viewers, this series has been played for the Sobers Tisera Trophy as well. 2 big names. Tisera was under him when he was a manager. Fantastic gentleman.
It's driven uppishly. And also at stake, our World Test Championship points is the important points for both teams.
Boy, 7 to 7 for 7, boys.
Slightly uppishly. With Karunaratne
Come on, lads. Come on,
already
lads.
taken a brilliant catch at extra cover in the first innings.
Oh, yes, boy.
Solid, very solid.
Good ball here,
To
lads.
his batsman, showing some grit, some fight, some heart.
Good ball here, boys. Come on.
Dragging the game much as possible. With the being around, it's the best they could do. Have the Sri Lankans toiling for the wickets.
Come on, lads. Come on, lads.
And they've shown good application to absorb a lot of pressure last evening. But they've come out positive and confident. They know that dark clouds out there.
Come on, boy.
And the game may not go the full distance. Light might be a factor.
Come on, Praveen.
Just need to hang in there.
Hang in there. That's exactly what these two West Indies batsmen are doing. End of the 40th. West Indies 77 for 6. To have the crowd back in numbers. Generally the 5th day of Test match. Day the Sri Lankans comes out. Longest partnerships. Beautiful shots being bought by the drone. It's very busy. Going around the fort, sea area, stadium, but fantastic shots.
Good on, mate.
Ramesh Mendes continuing from the fort end, looking for his 5th wicket. It's not forthcoming yet.
Come on, Ramsey. And then Ramsey.
Wijatunga and Dilshan is our trainer.
Hiya.
Sri Lankan national team for a while. PL Wijatunga, seen him doing a lot of work with the spinners, getting them to, even today's warm-ups, I'm having a closer look, getting them to flight it and dip the ball in that area. And that's exactly what I was talking about. Ramesh was doing it, but the consistency has been an issue. And this morning and all the 4 other days as well. Plenty of bowling in the middle, spot bowling, getting those, the rhymes right, the lengths, the time. I reckon these 3 youngsters, with 14 test match among them, plus Temuldini being a senior player, a lot of work to do, but the potential is there. It's just a matter of having more experience and exposure in these situations.
That's much better. 4 Sri Lankan spinners all offer something different. The 2 left-arm spinners, the 2 right-arm off-spinners offer variety, some with a slightly flatter trajectory, some go wide off the crease, but they're all looking for that loop, looking for that rough. Mendes looking for his first 5-wicket haul in Test cricket.
And also with Praveen Javik being in white ball setup for a little while now, played. With Lasit Tamuldini did play a 4-day match against Pakistan. 80 playing for Sri Lanka. He had some bowling in his bag when it comes to Praveen Javik. Was in Dubai in the bubble in the national team, out of the 15, but still was traveling with the team. Plenty of white ball, and we all know 2020 cricket, you're trying to fire it in, take a little time to settle down. Young he is, still learning the game, learning the art. Take a little time, but I'm pretty sure more experience he gets playing in big games and big occasions only do good for him. Since he made his test debut with Bangladesh, he's come a long way.
He'll need a lot of guidance and support, both on the field and off the field. He's made a small change to the field. After a long discussion with Dimuth Karunaratne, he's taken out the leg gully and put him into an extra cover, encouraging him to bowl outside the off stump just like that. Getting the batsman to play against the spin, both on the front foot and back foot. West Indies 78 for 6 at the end of the 41st over, which takes us to drinks.
It wasn't the case last evening. Wickets fell in the heat, which was the first one.
Yeah, the spinners got into the act straight away. They had the West Indian innings tottering. Ramesh and India bowled really well. Just kept on surprising the batsmen with those arm deliveries. And West India's top order didn't have any answer. But these two batters, De Silva and Bonner, showing a lot of resistance, step resistance. They have denied Sri Lankan batsmen the opportunity to break this partnership. That there was a chance when Ramesh created that chance. It wasn't taken. Leg slip by Nisanka was a difficult catch.
Well, West Indies will be pleased with what they have done this morning, quite in contrast to where they batted yesterday. Very tentative last evening, struggled against natural variation and spin and the pressure created by the Sri Lankan spinners. PR Vijay should be quite pleased with young spinners' performance. That's a good start to the over. Straight away, turn and bounce. So that's what you need to see on a more regular basis. Goes with a slightly round armish action, different to Abudenia, who goes a little bit over the top with a straightish arm. He tends to vary his arm quite the release points quite well, Ravi Javikrama. It's a skill that he's trying to develop and master.
Yeah, he's been guilty of pushing the ball in the air in this innings. He looks a very dangerous bowler when he's flighting the ball. And once again, ill-directed delivery. The case of batsmen just getting bat and ball and picked up easy 4 runs. Now that's where Jayaprakash has to improve the over management and then the spell management. Who he is bowling to. It'll be better serve if he looks to flight the ball. Ask the batsman to drive through extra cover. Impel him to do that. Yeah. Much too easy for the batsman to negotiate. The British delivery.
Sri Lanka had their moments this morning. There was a chance that it went down the leg side, but this run out had that hit. Silva was gone for one. And this one was a sharp one, very sharp one. It goes to stick. It's 83 for 6.
By bowling options exhausted in this inning so far.
83 for 6. Ramesh Mendes continues with his off spin. 2 short legs and a slip. His line should be around that off stump or just outside, but he's been a little bit inconsistent. Bowled with that leg as well, but he's trying hard. Needs to get him playing on the front foot all the time.
You're talking about the chances of that run-out chance. Have a look. Through the ball. Wrong-footed. And all the coaches tell you when you're looking to effect a run-out, you have to aim for the base of the stumps. Wasn't the case. occasion. Never tried to hit the ball very hard. Just timed it. And got the desired result. Another boundary.
But it's a better delivery. That's the idea. He needs to try and flight it. He needs to get him playing on the front foot. Doesn't matter really driving the second boundary of the day. The first one was in the last over. He should encourage him to try and drive against the turn. That's why he's having that extra cover area open.
You're through extra cover. Just aim outside the off stump.
Come on, boys. Come on, boys.
Batsman has to employ a stroke with the open face. That's where the off spinner has chances to break through.
That's a line. That is the perfect line. Maybe a touch full, but still doesn't matter. He's got the right idea. Just make sure that he looks to drive through that area and beat it with the turn.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Ramesh giving him a few half volleys outside the off stump. Ask the batsman to hit the ball for a couple of boundaries and then flight the ball. And drag the length a bit back. That's where he will create chances for himself to pick up a wicket. And 5 wickets all. He's picked up 4 wickets so far. At times in a test match, a bowler, a spinner should be brave enough to buy a wicket. 89 for 6 West Indies.
Well, it's been a good session for the West Indies so far. The barren one for Sri Lanka. They've been hoping to get a wicket or two by this time. They've tried their spinners, they've tried the fast bowler. Usman Chamira. Finds a little bit of purchase around that off stump. Interestingly, Sri Lanka has 2 left-arm spinners. This is that last delivery. Just a bit of turn from around midland leg.
And that's what you get as a left-arm spinner bowling round armish. That angle opens the batsman up, squares the batsman up, and if the ball turns from there, makes it doubly difficult. Contrasting release from the left-arm spinners. One has a low arm, the other one high arm action. You know, with that high arm action as a bowler, you tend to get more bounce. And with this action, your arm delivery can become lethal, provided it's pitched in the right areas and you set up the batsman with those away-going deliveries. See, the vast difference, bounce, you get if you have a high arm action.
Yeah, I think that's a very good analysis, Amir. But in fairness to Praveen, he tends to do a lot with the slightly square arm, but he also looks to go with a higher arm. That's his variety that he tries to bring in. He's a bit different to Ambudenia. Ambudenia is a very orthodox, over-the-top kind of bowler. Praveen Jayavikrama tends to try and experiment with his releases. 89 for 6. West Indies continuing to fight on day 5. Gloomy skies. No sunshine whatsoever. Play starting on time, surprisingly, miraculously, if that's the right word, considering the rain it had. Sri Lanka still searching for those 4 wickets.
able to break through Sri Lankan spinners in this
Come on, Rama.
session of play on the last day of the test match. This is a fight
Anna, Niyamagana.
over these two batsmen.
Niyamagana,
Highly
Rama.
impressed with their unwavering concentration and the focus
Come on, boy.
in employing the right technique to deal with these talented spinners. Once again, a very good stroke, making sure on that occasion, De Silva, that he gets to the pitch of the ball. Did overhit it, just timed the ball with his full face of the bat, and a very good result.
The Silva has looked very impressive. He's done things. He's been pretty simple with his method. He's either right forward or right back. He's shown good defense. Look at that stride.
And the balance, where it was going forward. In the previous innings, we saw West Indian batsmen just trying to hit the ball on the up with their weight way behind. Missed out. Missed out.
Tug it down, boy. Tug it down, boy.
That's what happens.
Come on, come on.
This partnership for the West Indies in the match, beating the first innings partnership of 61 between Holder and Mayers. 63, in fact, Bonner and De Silva now at 75. They've taken 200 balls.
Yeah, the top order batsmen should take a leaf out of these two batsmen's book. The importance of footwork, the importance of good technique, the importance of watching the ball coming out of the hand and play it late will serve you better as a batsman. 93 for 6.
Lanka really weighing their options. They looked at the spinners. Well, they got two other options available if they want to go into. They can call upon Dhananjay De Silva this morning, Suranga Lakmal. Driving from a continuous. On the bounce. But this has been a very, very patient and a good partnership. I mean, if you look at the partnerships and the number of balls, Karunaratne and Nisanka, 299 balls. Now, this pair have consumed 203. That's great credit to them. Batting under pressure.
The reason why these two batsmen have been able to put such resistance, they have played the ball late. Look, first, he set himself to play that ball towards mid-wicket. The ball jumped on him, played the ball with a soft hand and very late. Or was in the air. You cannot call it a chance.
That's not a chance. That's not a chance. I mean, had that been taken, it would have been an outstanding effort.
Mind you, he's taken some stunning catches.
I mean, that he just hit him on the chest. Pretty unfortunate. That's a Nisanka under a helmet. He had no time to react. The rub of the green went Sri Lanka's way yesterday. Today, the West Indies enjoying it. A few opportunities, but really been half chances, tough ones. Not going Sri Lanka's way. This shows what a great level of these sport is.
Have a look at Nisanka. He stayed with the stroke. He stayed down, kept eyes on the bat and the ball. And he was appreciated by his senior player in the lineup. 93 for 6.
It's a game of patience for both Sri Lanka and the West Indies. The West Indians have done tremendously well to show and display that special quality that was lacking when we did see them bat late evening. Ramesh Mendis have gone off. Charming Karnaranga. Very much an established member in the Sri Lankan white ball format, included in the test squad as well. Well, we spoke about the release points, we spoke about Amuldenya's release. If you look at him, Amuldenya also looks for variety, but his stocked ball is always with a straight arm, over the top. A typical orthodox left arm leg spinner.
Lovely boy.
But he gets everything right. Lovely to watch.
Bowler with the good pace in this over, in this spell. He's been lurking around in this over with his 2 deliveries around 79 and 80, and that's a good speed.
It's a good start to the over. Amultenia in terms of his control, his speed. You're talking about, he has the right idea. It'll be land leg, looking to entice the batsman to do something different. Beautiful bowling.
Yeah, that's the idea. It's been aforementioned. Make the batsman hit through extra cover for a couple of times. Soften his focus, break his concentration. Only a single in this over. It's 94 for 6.
This is a side that Sri Lankans haven't seen for a very long time, as we know that sport in general has been played before. Empty stadiums, cricket certainly lacked the spectator support, the environment, the buzz that the spectators bring in. As you see, it's very colourful, the flags being waved, shouting support. Just pushed through a little bit too quicker for my liking.
And he has to do it more often. Ask the batsman to hit the ball through extra cover. See, that's where Sri Lankan bowlers have been guilty. They've been falling over 80 kilometers per hour. This is better. This is better. Doesn't matter if it has gone for a boundary. This is speed was under 80 kilometers per hour. And I think against these two batsmen, this is the pace which is going to work in the favor of the bowler. It was a good hit. Good roll of the wrist to keep the ball all along the ground.
Not down the drum.
Those 40s.
Yeah. Not down the drum. Try my best. Up. Break card, boy! Been impressive, Da Silva. He's got a best of 92. Very short his career so far. His 9th game. Yes. 10th game, I beg your pardon, and averaging around the low 20s. So it's early days for him, but he's shown a lot of skill, determination, steel. Just what you want. The 100's up for the West Indies.
Yeah, both these batsmen are getting busier and busier. Looking to score runs as well.
Come on, lad. Break card, boy!
His technique has been good. He's played the spinners well.
Break card, boy!
And this morning the spinners haven't found that venom as they did last evening, but still, the skill has been tested. Oh, that's painful. Pathum Nissanka in the firing line yet again. And to hit hard. He's alright. He's a man of steel. It's 100 for 6. Excellent partnership, 82 runs, unfinished. In fact, that's the only partnership of any note. All the others in single figures. So that tells you the agony the West Indian batsmen have had. Spoke about that firm drive by Da Silva. And Nissanka once more in the firing line, in firmly again in that fleshy area. Hit it pretty hard.
Yeah, that's where the change was required. If, as a bowler, you're looking to flight the ball outside the off stump, instead of having silly mid-off, move it to silly point. Oh, Percy.
You know him?
Old friend. He loves his cricket, doesn't he? He travels everywhere to support Sri Lanka and the game.
He's 2 years young, he says. And the difference between him and the Garfield Sobers, he says, is just one day. They're the same age. Thankfully, the comparison stops there. Again, nice loop. Abultenia just continuing to probe around that off stump with that loop. He's looking for some turn of this track, turn and bounce. That slip and silly point in, short leg in as well. Oh, another one. Great effort by the silly point fieldsman. But it's not going to hand. Pathum Nissanka yet again.
He's been in the firing line for a while, got hit a few times, and still concentrating. Almost pulled it off. Almost. Wasn't an easy chance. Although the ball was pitched outside the leg stump, still. Looking at the bat and the ball, huge shout, but optimistic.
It was a great effort by Batum Nissanka. He was diving, he was trying to catch it on the rebound. It wasn't easy. Surely they're not going to review that. That's going down the leg side. But Sri Lanka has had their moments. Turn and bounce. That's exactly what Sri Lanka needs. A few of those. Possibly start to turn from around middle and off stump. Just confuse the batsman and then the natural variations taking over. Rod Ball is starting to do that. We haven't seen that on a regular basis. This spell has been very good by Mulania. The control, the pace, the loop, and the response is getting off the surface.
You keep bowling there. Show a lot of patience. And you'll get a wicket, Mulania. Better, much better over this one. And the score remains at 100. The loss of 6 wickets.
For 6, not one of those bright days, plenty of cloud about, but thankfully it's still holding. There is brightness which is good enough for cricket. Yeah, this was better field, really pitching outside the leg stump, so you don't need to go beyond that. Lanka took the right decision not to review it. It was pretty clear and plain. Two short legs, leg slip and a forward short leg and a slip. About Praveen Javed, I mean, he has that arm ball, the one that floats in, the one that goes in with the arm. So he's also having a man just catching around the corner at short leg for the one that comes in. Gets the ball to turn as well, the orthodox leg break. Just like that.
Now, there is no doubt about his ability. I think it's about time. He should change the angle. Look to bowl over the stumps. Ask the batsman to drive the ball on the onside against the turn. A changing of the angle might work. Now, there's a change in field. Legs slip. He's been asked to come to sleep it off.
Now what Sri Lanka has done is that they have shifted the two fielders. Batum Nissanka is now at short leg and also the Fernando at silly point because Nissanka has been pounded in that position. He's withstood it quite bravely though. Touch full and tossed up a little bit. The pace is right. Need and drag them forward, need that drop. Need a bit of energy, or the effort ball as they call it.
They get the ball to hang in the air for a bit. Coming too flat. Once again, Nissanka was in the firing line. Oshada, beg your pardon. That is Silva richly. He deserves to be rewarded for his hard work. Missing. He deserves a 50 here.
It's 100 for 6 and the West Indian fight continues. skies and the sunshine. Still, the light is good. Cricket can be played. They're starting miraculously. I mean, I never thought we would start on time, honestly. That's the speciality of these parts of the world, particularly in Sri Lanka, where they take care of every inch of the ground. The entire ground gets covered, and the ground staff are just magnificent. They're so well trained, and they know exactly what is expected of them. Then he's now finding more turn from around that off-stump area. They were magnificent. They are generally magnificent. Just keep them. Just a touch quicker, touch shorter, allowing the batsman to get on the back foot. But this is a good battle. And Bonner. The West Indies, they don't really mind playing maiden overs. It's about surviving. At the moment, I don't think they're even looking at the target being set. It's about surviving. It's about batting as deep as they can.
And so far, they have handled the situation adroitly.
Ball, Andy. Okay, boy.
Batted with clear thinking what they are required to do to survive.
Good boy.
That's a slight change in the action. It's the third consecutive maiden. It's 100 for 6. Longer the West Indies bat, it will increase their level of confidence, the belief that they can bat and save. That Sri Lanka out of the game, save this. It's about the confidence, isn't it? I mean, Bonner 36, Silva 43. Two batsmen growing as they have progressed. Now they've batted for almost the entirety of the morning session, with a little bit to go for lunch, so they'll be pleased with their morning's work. And their first task would have been to bat the first half hour, maybe then the hour, and then if possible bat till lunch without a wicket. So they'll have those little targets that they'll break it down to, which will make them achieve it easier.
There's a similar kind of a thing which happened in the first innings. Tail well. Oh, that's good. Turn and bounce. That was a very good delivery, almost perfect.
See, that's the kind of luck the West Indies need to survive. That's a poor delivery. That's a boundary. That's tossed up. That's a gift. Da Silva just continuing. Gets close to his half century. Third if he gets there. On the full between the bowler and mid-on. Jai Vikrama. Just looking for some loop, but missing out on length.
Now Joshua made sure he's not going to miss out.
Come on, Lamai, in there. Yes.
That's what happens. Immediately the reaction. Previous ball driven down the ground and then immediately pushing it a little bit quicker, allowing the batsman the space outside the all-star. That's the follow-up delivery, which is sometimes invariably a mistake that a spinner commits, someone as young as he is.
And it shows the lack of experience at this level. Playing his second test match, Jai Vikrama. Very well deserved 50. Excellent innings. very valuable innings as far as West Indies cricket is concerned. He showed the way to all the top order batsmen how to deal with spin, how to bat on demanding pitches.
Could be a defining moment in his career. In his 10th game, his third Test 50, and it's an innings that hard fought. Every run was an easy, hard-earned runs. Batting in challenging conditions, as you said. Surviving last evening was a real challenge.
Let me tell you, you've got to be mentally strong as well to be able to deal with such situation. What he was faced. 1 7 for 6. Batsmen really enjoyed on day 4. Lower order batsmen from West Indies, they excelled, and then the top order from Sri Lanka was able to keep the will off quite effectively. Well, he's a hard taskmaster, isn't he? He's getting frustrated.
Joshua Da Silva has been excellent today, and he's really fought hard with his back to the ball. Taken on the spinners, he's coped well with them. Had a bit of luck playing and missing, but then luck favors the brave, and you create your own luck. Oh, that's bad first. That's bad first. Karthasena doesn't think that. He doesn't think. I think they are definitely, they will review it.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Roshan. Well spotted. It was bad first, and it's been reviewed.
TV umpire to director, we have a player review for LBW. Original decision is not out and it's a fair delivery. Start with the front on spin vision, please. Give me the ultra edge, please. Looks like pet first. I need to confirm with the ultra edge, please. Keep it rolling through. Yes, pet first. Clearly pet first. Ball tracker when it is ready, please. I'll let you know. Waiting for ball tracking, Kumar. Okay, ball tracking is ready. Stand by Hawk 1 and roll Hawk 1. Ball tracking is coming. Pitching in line. Impact umpire's call. Wicket umpire's call. You can stay with the original not out decision. I will let you know when you are on camera, Kumar.
That is amazing. Look at Mickey Arthur. He doesn't believe it. I don't believe it either. I won't believe it either. That is amazing. Umpire's call and he survives. Goodness gracious, I'm happy for this young man.
Yeah, whether we believe it or not, he survived. He was very confident. Oh, he's very lucky. He's very lucky to survive this.
I mean, look, I honestly don't know how this is an umpire. But I don't know. So it just baffles me. It simply baffles me. To me, It looked out.
Well, let me tell you, Joshua De Silva was very confident that he's going to survive this when it was reviewed. He asked for a fresh pair of gloves while it was reviewed. Talk about confidence.
I don't know. Some of these things baffle me. They honestly baffle me. Runs here, through mid-wicket. And it's a boundary. Just rubbing a bit of salt into the wound that was pitched up on the leg stump and nicely worked through mid-wicket.
Not an easy stroke to employ on a pitch like this, which is offering a lot of turn and bounce to the spinners. He's moved towards the off stump, made sure that he got to the pitch of the ball, stayed inside the line of the delivery, and found the gap. Excellent stroke. Now that stroke got him to 40s. Now he's getting confidence. Warner is not afraid to use his feet now.
Come on, boys!
Bit of turn and bounce. West Indies survive. It's 112 for 6.
I suppose many of these fans probably thought it would have been over by now, or at least probably have a couple of wickets taken and getting ready to celebrate the victory. They'll probably still be towards the end of the day, but quite a bit of frustration in the Sri Lankan camp, as you would expect, given that verdict. Don't know where he's headed to right now. In just over a week he'll be heading off to Derbyshire to take up a contract there, ending his stint with Sri Lanka. We've seen this so many times before, disgruntled coaches and officials heading off towards the match referee or for the area where the technology and the calculations are being done. At the end of the day, it just presents us with another talking point on an interesting morning where the West Indies have resisted, had quite a bit of luck along the way. Just another talking point, Jihan.
Talking point with Hawkeye, with ball tracking, because you're not actually seeing, just seeing the impact, not beyond it. Which is why the umpire's call comes into play. There is a margin for error. Let's look at that again. Slightly full ball playing on the back foot. To the naked eye, that looks very clean. They think they've got their man. Pitching in line, impact umpire's call.
So let's take some time to look at that again. When you look at it from the point of impact, were you confident that it was going to hit off stump flush or clip off stump? Because that's the point that you make about umpire's call. Umpire's call allows for a margin of error in the technology because it's not 100% perfect. You hear many people saying, well, it's clipped the stump, why is that not out? It doesn't make any sense and so on. It allows for that marginal imperfection in the technology where you do have the umpire's call. There you go. Look at the point of impact. Can you say with absolute certainty that that would have hit off stump flush enough for it to be not umpire's call? And you can always hear the argument, well, if it was going to clip off stump anyway, why is that not out? It is because of that margin of error. And it is the allowance for that margin of error that creates a situation like this. Where, for example, if the umpire had said out, it would have been upheld as out. But because he said not out, it remains not out, because umpire's call essentially means the benefit of the doubt goes to the umpire's call.
We come back to that after this over. 114 for 6 now.
They deserve their rest. They've worked extremely hard. When you think about having to cover the entire ground and the process of getting the water off, getting the covers back on, ensuring there isn't too much water on the cover, it's a lot of work. And all it takes is one careless bit of work for water to get on the pitch, get on the area of the square, and that's it for the day possibly. So they do a really good job.
It's a perfectly choreographed operation that they have going at the Gall Stadium. And Bulgaria continuing from the fourth end.
Ball, Andy.
There it is. Tires, covers, masks on, masks off. That's a lot of hard work. They work throughout the night, early in the morning.
Ball, Andy.
And we started on time. Who would have thought it? With the rain that we had last night and this morning. A lot of hard work. There's an art to it. It's not just putting covers on top of the ground. There's a sequence to it. You need to take one cover off, make sure that water is not spilled on the field.
Because if you don't do that sequence properly, the water will drain actually onto the pitch. You've got to layer it properly. So it's not random by any means. But yeah, I'm sure this whole umpire score is going to be talked about endlessly. But if you understand the principle of it, it gets a bit clearer. It's not going to satisfy everybody. It never will.
No ball.
No ball, bowl. Pass delivery. Nothing behind the line.
I mean, the way I understand it, Fazir, is that the review system or the review technology is to eliminate the howlers from the game. The clear mistakes or the clear errors, there will always be that subjective element. Because there is that human element.
And so often when you look at it in real time, you tell yourself, well, that's definitely out, or that there's no way that could have hit. And then when you look at it with the benefit of the replay, you realize that it's much closer than you thought. Look at this again. Let's imagine it in real time, that you called upon to make an instant call.
Can't be.
And it's a tough one for even the umpire to decide the impact, because the pad is moving as well. It's moving back in. It looks out. It looks dead to the naked eye.
Oh, ball, Andy.
115 for 6. Remains heavily overcast here in Gall. Final day of this test match, where the West Indies are putting up the sort of resistance you haven't seen for some time from the lower order. Because just earlier this year, the same Nkrumah Bonner got his first test match 100 as the West Indies batted through the last day in Antigua. Needing 253 runs to win seems irrelevant. More importantly for the West Indies, looking for the 7th wicket pair to keep the fight going, maybe hoping that some rain can get to the ground off the ocean.
Been very impressed with the way Josh De Silva in particular has applied himself. He's grown in confidence, middling the ball well, played a couple of sweeps, and they've run well between the wickets. very solid there. This game reminds me of one of the first games that I went to watch as a young boy. It was a school game. 92 for 6 was a score. Similar kind of sentiment coming in that the game would be over by lunch. And it was a brilliant rearguard action. It was the Royal College, St. Thomas's College, derby match, a big match. And Garmini Pereira put on a fantastic 144 and drew the game. And that was my first experience of cricket. I was about 7 or 8 at the time. And that's Test cricket. That's what Test cricket gives you, which no other format can.
For Lanka referee is not heading down leg side. He's giving him no. If he's going to review it, which he's doing, the umpire's call is out.
TV umpire to director, we have a player review for LBW. Original decision is out and it's a fair delivery. Start with the front on spin vision, please.
And number yellow, roll yellow.
Ball was close to the bat. Can I have the ultra in to check whether any bat in all there, please? Keep it rolling through, keep it rolling through, keep it rolling through. Yes, I am satisfied. Pad first, pad first. Ball tracker when it is ready, please. Thank you. Waiting for ball tracking, Ruch.
That you know.
Copied. Still waiting, Ruch. Still waiting. Still waiting, Ruchi. Still waiting.
Okay, stand the Hawk 1 and roll Hawk 1, let it come.
Ball tracking is coming. Pitching in line, impact in line. Wickets missing, Ruchi, you need to change your decision to not out. I will let you know when we are on camera.
And that's why we have the technology to eliminate those sorts of errors. Because it turned sharply, could have seen that in real time as well. Lots of smiles on West Indian faces.
And that's a tough one for the umpire. There's not much room between the ball pitching and the impact of the pad to see that deviation. That's where technology comes in.
And we talked about umpire Palyaburgi having a good key. But again, this is why we have the technology. It's no slight on the umpire. Human beings are inclined at times to make mistakes, but the technology has done its job. No suggestion of any real confidence in that appeal this time, though. Lots of shouting and anticipation now in the Sri Lankan camp as they've been frustrated. He's not going to review it. End of the over, 116 to 6.
Over. Ambaldini and Mendes still the only successful bowlers for Sri Lanka, sharing the 6 wickets amongst them.
opportunities for Sri Lanka to get this breakthrough within the last half an hour. So we're just asking a question of the umpire. What are they asking about here? Is it De Silva maybe not feeling well, or is it Bonner? So that is going to just take up some time, but let's take a look at how the opportunities have come Sri Lanka's way, that for different reasons they haven't been able to take those chances. He's getting some treatment there on the lower back. Look at this here, clear run out opportunity, a direct hit and he was gone. That was inside the first half an hour's play. Sharp chance to leg slip. Just couldn't hold on to this one, just at the tips of the fingers. So opportunities for Sri Lanka. And then of course those umpiring decisions, which generated even more discussion. But he's played well for a third test match half century. Keeping some width outside the off stump. He's a very competent player, accustomed being at the top of the order for his club, for his country, Trinidad and Tobago, for the emerging West Indies 11. Like with so many others in the West Indies, his numbers at first class level pretty modest, averaging just about 29. But when you see this level of application from himself, from Nkrumah Bonner, young man 23 years of age, you recognize that there's quite a bit of ability. It's about really being able to be consistently successful at the highest level of the game.
That's the job of the selectors and the coaches, to see beyond the numbers, to go out there, identify talent, see potential, and harness that potential, and put them through the system, and so that they come out and put out performances like this.
While Bonner is getting treated, he's 32 years of age, but 9 years older. But this is also just his first full year of Test cricket. Like this age-old vessel, it took him some time to really set sail with his international career. Played a one-day international almost 10 years ago, and finally got his opportunity in Bangladesh when a few players opted out, the likes of Jason Holder, Roston Chase, and Bonner again, who also averages in the high 20s in first-class cricket, which is quite frankly mediocre. But as Sri Lanka would have seen with that 100 on the last day in Antigua, the drawn first Test match, there is ability. And the question is, in West Indies domestic cricket, why do you see players, so many of them, really unable to kick on and be consistently successful? They show their ability in bits and pieces and patches, but for whatever reason, just aren't able to bring it together consistently, as we are seeing here with this level of determination. This is an encouraging sign for the West Indies as well, if they see the ground staff at ready. Right after lengthy treatment, and a few clouds on the way. Play resumes now. More runs here for De Silva.
That's the 100-run partnership of 270 deliveries. Really brought West Indies back into this game, given them a real chance of drawing and saving this Test match.
Gone now. No doubt about this one. They were working for it. They were getting frustrated, angered with some of the decisions. But now the breakthrough has come.
Richly deserved wicket by Lasith Ambulden. He toiled hard this morning for that. He can get some decisions going his way. A beautiful delivery. Joshua De Silva just playing back on the back foot. Ambulden is ecstatic. Sri Lanka have the breakthrough they want. 118 for 7.
Again for Sri Lanka after that breakthrough. They had to wait quite some time, more than 2 hours, since play got underway this morning. King Cornwall, who played well in the first innings for 39. Can he offer similar resistance? Just a few minutes to go to the lunch interval.
Here's that wicket again. Saw this in the first innings. Just hanging back. It was a full delivery. Might have been better off playing that on the front foot. A quick turn by Muldenia. Finally, Sri Lanka hold on to a catch. A disappointed Josh De Silva. He should be proud of the innings that he's played. Unfortunate that he couldn't see West Indies through. He's given them a chance.
Before the interval. Very close to that off stump. They'll be asking themselves, how did that miss?
Just have a look at this. Pitched middle and off, and whoa! Chandimal was so confident that was going to hit the stumps. He can't believe it himself.
There'll be a little more anxiety as well. They've gotten the breakthrough, but grey clouds moving in just a bit closer. Very close to that off stump. 4 centimeters away from that off stump, but enough for him to survive. 118 for 7.
Departing for a well-made 54. Solitary breakthrough coming through the bowling of Lasith and Muldenia.
Partnership of 102 broken for the 7th. Bonner remains as phlegmatic as ever. Troubled by some lower back pain that required considerable treatment, and it was shortly after play resumed was there a break in concentration for Joshua De Silva. Good bowling. Almost a Yorker length delivery. That's why test match batting is so difficult, because any break in play and a lapse in concentration take nothing away from the bowler. Now we're seeing the mid-on moving back. Are they anticipating, are they going to tempt him with the flighted delivery? There's now a long on in place. Not right back out.
Rakeem Cornwall was particularly severe on Ramesh Mendis in the first innings in one of his overs, taking 15 runs off it. It's too far down the leg side. Sri Lanka can't afford too many of those deliveries. The dark clouds hovering over the Gall Stadium. Ground staff standing by.
I think that's what he's looking for. Tossing it up, inviting fighting the drive, looking to bowl him through the gate, or maybe in a portion of the bat in the air, to that short mid wicket, the captain.
Slightly bit too straight for my liking. Want to target the off stump, maybe just outside the off stump. Bring both edges of the bat in, the inside edge and the outside edge. He's got a first slip, Dhananjay De Silva. Sri Lanka would dearly love to take a wicket in with them to lunch.
Too full. And he's extracting a sharp turn. We saw that sharp turn with the LBW appeal that was given on the field and then knocked back because it was turning so sharply. 120 for 7. Dropping short of slip. 6 minutes to the lunch interval. Probably this over and another.
Played with soft hands, even though it took the edge. Falling well short of Dhananjay De Silva. Once again, nice soft hands. Let's have soft hands for a big man. You see that too often.
That's why it was such a surprise to many of us when we first saw him 10 years ago. Bowling these gentle off breaks for such a big man. And he was getting really nice flight and loop. And he's doing himself West Indies test selection over the last couple of years. Capable enough with the bat as well to have a 73 against Sri Lanka in Antigua, his home island, at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium earlier this year. Really put everything behind it, and that's a lot for Rakeem Cornwall.
Yeah, it's better way to the ball, but he put so much behind it, almost knocked him off balance. He watches the ball all the way, rocks back onto the back. Look at that. Everyone jumping there. First slip, second slip, slip it off. Katham Nissanka was in the firing line.
Left one on previous over that was very close to that off stump. Perilous exercise being there at Silly Point. Trusted his judgment again. 124 for 7.
Second Frankfurt.
Well, we're going to have one more delivery, which I'm sure Nasser Bembaldinia won't mind.
That's tight, but it's a no ball. I do hope one of those don't come back to bite Lasith Bembaldinia. Better line to end the over. 125 for 7.
Dinesh Ramden got that 56 on test debut. Colombo. Rashford De Silva probably with a good innings today. passed over to the lunch interval. And of course, Carlton Ball was here in 2010. All test matches were affected draws. And Ridley Jacobs way back in 2001. It took the West Indies a long time to play a first test match against Sri Lanka, who got test status in 1982. It was 11 years at Moratua. And it was a further 4 years, 1997, before we saw Sri Lanka playing test cricket in the West Indies. 2 test matches.
Down the leg side. Mendes coming around the wicket. Still drifting too far down the leg side. Needs to attack stumps more. He's pitching outside leg. Drifting further down. Good take by Chandimal. He's been kept busy behind the stumps. That's a better line. Just one more delivery left in this over. Sri Lanka will want to try and push through another over. Give Ambledenia another go at Cornwall.
Yeah, should be able to get another over in. Yeah, 1 over to go. Still to the lunch interval. 6 more deliveries to survive. 125 for 7. The 18th for 6 late yesterday. We thought it would be all over on that same 4th evening. Since then we've seen a century standard that was ended by the good work of Ambledenia, and we talked about a bowler working at a batsman, building pressure, changing the angles. Not just about the wicket taking delivery, but the build up to it.
This is that LBW shout. With the change in deviation, there's more drift. Slightly wider on the crease. Drop his arm a little bit. And keeps getting closer and closer. That's that 80 GSM one. We'll come back to that. This is the one that slightly over the top of the hand and slightly wider. Look at the release points. Just marginal, but those are the differences in Test cricket.
It is a game of inches and millimeters. If you're turning the ball too big away from the face of the bat, it doesn't really matter. You don't want it to be turning too much. Well, his judgment is excellent so far. A couple of them have come really, really close to that off stump. Almost peeling the stickers off the stumps.
Oh, yes!
Just one more delivery to go. West Indies will feel they have done well. They go into lunch. 7 wickets down.
Could so easily have gone awry and gone astray. Gone the wrong way for the West Indies, but they fought well. Sri Lanka have persisted. They've had a few half chances. They've finally got the breakthrough. But there's an element of frustration, but satisfaction for the West Indies that their lower order has shown some backbone, shown some effort. Sri Lanka is still in a dominant position at this lunch interval. They'll be looking to the skies though, with the overcast conditions, but they've been held up. West Indies have fought well.
And just that 1 wicket in that first session. West Indies scoring 73 runs. The batting for the West Indies this morning. Nkrumah Bonner and Joshua De Silva carrying on from last night, putting on 42 and 54 respectively before Joshua De Silva was caught in the slips of Lasith Ambaldenia.
Once again, the spinners doing the job. The men who were given the new ball late yesterday and were so effective. And it took another spell from Lasith Ambaldenia to finally get the breakthrough this morning. Look at how things went this morning, starting a bit earlier. Looking for a higher power to offer some guidance. Joshua De Silva. There was a run-out chance early on. Direct hit, and there would have been none of the length resistance we saw subsequently. Half chance to leg slip. As they were growing in confidence, a few boundaries, a few confident shots. From Bonner, to lead by example. This was off the body with purely reflex action. Another one that he couldn't hold on to, stretching for all he's worth. Just the tips of the fingers. Fortune favouring the West Indies. Finally brought up a half century. Another one for the young man new to Test cricket. Lots of contention about this verdict. Not out on the field, and was ruled to be umpire's call with the point of impact via the technology. This one was given out on the field. Again, it went to the technology. As the Sri Lankans were celebrating, Bonner was convinced, and he was proven right with the sharp turn. But this time, the sharp turn worked in favour of Lasith Ambaldenia. Hakeem Cornwall showing good judgment of his off stump and good flailing of the bat for a boundary. So this is where we are. West Indies 223 runs away. That's really out of the equation. Sri Lanka, mindful of the weather, they need 3 more wickets to close out a victory and take an early lead in this 2-match series. We'll hope for good weather and see how things develop in just over half an hour's time.